Okay, here's some notes on how to solve an exponential equation. So one thing to be clear about is when I look at this problem, one of the first things I notice is, hey, I've got variables, or a variable in the exponent. I have this expression, x plus 5 in the exponent, which means what I can't do is say, oh, okay, cool, I'll just divide both sides by 2, to eliminate that 2. If I had something like this, where x is not an exponent, go for it. You can divide both sides by 2. But because the x is actually an exponent, this is not going to work. There's a way to do it this way, but it's, I think, a lot more confusing than the way that I taught you. If you're really want to learn how to do this way, you can come see me, but I can almost guarantee you'll decide it's not worth it. Okay, so do not divide both sides by 2. That's not going to work. What will work is for me to change the bases. So this base is 2. So I need this to be a base 2. And so you might look at 1/32 and think, man, I do not know what that would be as a base 2. And you can kind of make yourself a little table of the exponents, right? That's 2. 2 squared is 4. 2 to the third is 8. 16 until eventually you get to 2 to the 6, 2 to the 5th, 32, 64. Okay, now you can stop right here. You got 2 to the 5th is 32. You're like, oh, great. But wait a minute. That's a fraction. This is not a fraction. Well, you got to remember, 2 to the negative 1 is a half. 2 to the negative 4, that's oh, pardon me. I don't mean 2 to the negative 4. I mean 2 to the negative 2. Well, that's a fourth. And you can kind of see, hey, this 2 to the second is 4, so 2 to the negative second is a fourth. Well, you could have seen it until it got erased. That must mean, if 2 to the 5th is 32, that must mean that 2 to the negative 5th is 1/32. Okay? Now, hey, I got the same base. That's great. All I got to do is set these two equal to each other. Okay? So I don't care about the bases. I'm not looking at them. I know if the bases are the same, I can just set the two exponents equal to each other. And now I'm solving a 7th grade algebra problem. Okay? So I'm just going to add 5 to both sides. Or not add 5 to both sides. Here I am saying it's a 5th grade or 7th grade problem, and I'm doing it wrong. Okay. So how about I subtract 5 from both sides? So I'm left with x on this side and negative 10 on that side. I'm done. That's it. Now let's say I wanted to verify that I did this right. Okay, I'm going to recopy the original problem. 2 to the x plus 5 equals 1/32. I'm going to take that negative 10 and place it in for x. So 2 to the negative 10 plus 5 equals 1/32. Add those, I get 2 to the negative 5th equals 1/32. Now I have to ask myself, is 2 to the negative 5th 1/32? Well, let's see here. 2 to the 5th is 32. So if I did 2 to the negative 5th, that's just flipping it into its reciprocal. So yeah, I verified it and it's right, and now I got it. Okay, so that's how you solve an exponential equation, where you have x in your exponent. Don't divide by 2.